Hi everyone, I'm Heidi Hamoud and I'm in the Urban Decay content lab filming in the Confessional. Today I'm going to be filming this really dramatic smoky cat eye look, and I'm going to be using all Urban Decay products. So if you guys would like to see how to achieve this look, please stay tuned and keep watching. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prime my eyes with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion in the shade Eden. And I'm just going to blend that out using my finger. So I'm going to set that in place using the Urban Decay The Finger F110 brush, and then I'm going to also use the shade 13 from the Urban Decay Smokey palette. You want to make sure when you're setting this in place that you're pressing on the product, not swiping it, because you don't want to move the product. Next I'm taking the shade Combust from the Smokey palette as well, and I'm going to blend that into my crease. I'm then taking the iconic eyeshadow brush and applying a little bit more of that same eyeshadow and blending that into my crease as well. I'm taking the first shade we used to set the base, which is 13, on that same brush and just using that to blur out the edges. I'm then going back in with the iconic eyeshadow brush and blending that out. Next I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Black Market with the same tapered blending brush, and I'm going to just apply that to my outer corner V and blend that out. I'm going to take the Urban Decay Smoky Smudger brush and just use that to smudge out the black a little bit. This just helps it fade out into the brown a little bit better. Taking the iconic eyeshadow brush once again, I'm going to take a little bit more of Combust and apply that to the center of my lid, blending in the brown with the rest of my lid. I'm then taking a little bit more of Whiskey and doing the same. For the center of the lid, I'm taking the shade Radar and applying that with a medium eyeshadow brush. I'm going to apply some of the Urban Decay Liquid Moondust eyeshadow in the shade Zap. So I'm going to apply that using the Urban Decay Moondust eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to use my finger just to blend that out a little bit. And then taking the iconic eyeshadow brush once again, and then just blending out that crease. So before we do our eyeliner, you can see that there's quite a bit of fallout, so I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and clean that up a little bit. For eyeliner today, I'm going to be taking the Urban Decay Perversion Liquid Liner, and I'm just going to do a winged liner starting from the middle of my eye, working my way out, and then back from the inner corner. So I'm going to take the Smoky Smudger brush once again with some more black, and I'm going to slightly smoke out the winged liner, just to give it a really sultry, smoky eye effect. And then just slightly blend that out with the tapered blending brush. And before I apply my mascara, I'm first going to apply a few coats of the Urban Decay Subversion Thicker, Longer, Stronger Lash Primer. So for mascara, I'm just going to be using the Urban Decay Perversion Bigger, Blacker, Badder Lash Mascara. So I'm just going to leave the eyes for now and move on to the skin. I'm first going to start by priming my skin, and for this I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. So I'm just going to pump out a few pumps of this onto the back of my hand and apply it with my fingers. So now I'm just going to be applying some foundation, and for this I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation in the shade 4, and I'm going to be applying this with the Urban Decay Optical Blurring Brush. So next I'm going to be applying some concealer, and for this I'm going to be mixing two shades. The first one is going to be Medium Natural, and then I'm just going to apply a little bit of Light Neutral on top of that. And I'm just going to blend that all out using the Urban Decay Flat Optical Blurring Concealer Brush. So now I'm just going to be setting in my under eyes, and for this I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Ultra Definition Pressed Finishing Powder in the shade Naked Light, and I'm going to be applying this with the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Blurring Brush. So moving back onto the eyes, I'm going to be applying some eyeliner, and for this I'm using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. This is the double-sided duo, and this is the shade Naked. So I'm going to be taking the black side and I'm going to apply this to my waterline. And you also kind of want to get this into your lower lash line as well. So I'm going back into the Smoky palette and I'm taking the shade Black Marker onto an Urban Decay Angled Brow Brush. And I'm just going to apply that directly onto my lower lash line. And then I'm going to smoke that out using the shade Whiskey. So I'm just going to take the Perversion Waterproof Fine Point Eye Pen, and I'm actually going to use that to point out the inner corners with the eyeliner, just to give it a really sultry, catty look. So next I'm just going to bronze my face, and for this I'm using the Urban Decay Beached Bronzer, and this is the shade Bronzed, and I'm going to be applying this with the Urban Decay Contour Definition Brush. Moving on to blush, I'm applying the Urban Decay Afterglow Blush in the shade Fetish, and applying this using the Diffusing Blush Brush. And lastly, we're moving on to the lips, and I'm first going to line my lips with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Lip Pencil in the shade Liar. And then on top of that, I'm going to apply the Vice Liquid Lipstick in the shade Back Talk. So I'm just going to go back in with the lip liner and just blend out those edges so the colours blend together well. So I'm taking a little bit of the concealer with a flat eyeshadow brush. I'm just going to clean up those edges. So because my skin is usually so dry, I like to use the Urban Decay Chill Setting Spray to set my makeup in place because it gives me this really beautiful hydrated dewy glow. And that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to create this really catty smoky eye. I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.